Hello, and welcome to Kimia Academy. Abu Saʿid Abu'l-Khayr is remembered as a Persian mystic whose presence shaped the spiritual culture of Eastern Iran. He stands at the threshold where formal scholarship turns into lived mysticism. His name endures less through doctrine than through the atmosphere of his gatherings. He was born in Khorasan, in the village of Mayhana, a frontier landscape of wind, caravans, and wide horizons. Later sources summarize his life as a movement between village simplicity and urban intensity. His dates are commonly given as 967 to 1049. Much of his mature life unfolded in Nishapur, one of the great cultural cities of the region in the Islamic Golden Age. It was a meeting point of scholarship, devotion, and competing religious currents. In such a city, a charismatic voice could become both beloved and contested. Before he was a Sufi sheikh, he pursued the classical religious sciences, jurisprudence, hadith, and Arabic learning. His path reflects a familiar rhythm in early Sufism: study, saturation, then a decisive inward turn. He trained in places such as Marv and Sarix, then crossed into the Valley of Meaning. Traditions emphasize a prolonged period of austerity and retreat, meant to break the ego's habits and sharpen attention. Whether read as literal biographies or spiritual symbolism, the lesson is consistent. Refinement requires time. The ascetic phase becomes the silent preface to his later radiance in public life. When his assemblies gained momentum in Nishapur, they drew crowds and stirred strong reactions. He became famous for speaking in ways that felt immediate and human, not merely technical or scholastic. Public spirituality, in a city of jurists and rival factions, is never politically neutral. His milieu included groups such as the Kimia, influential in Greater Khorasan, and associated with sharp sectarian tensions. Charges against Sufis often revolved around innovation, ecstatic practice, or alleged doctrinal excess. Abu Saʿid's popularity made him an obvious target in these rivalries. Abu Saʿid is often credited with helping normalize the use of ordinary love poetry as a vessel for mystical teaching. This was not a decorative choice. It was a strategy of access, meaning that could be felt before it was analyzed. His speech made the heart a legitimate instrument of knowing. Much of what we know comes through Asrar al-Tawhid, the Mysteries of Unification, a classic Persian hagiography. It is associated with Muhammad ibn Munawwar, written generations after Abu Sayyid's death, preserving anecdotes and sayings. The work is foundational for understanding how his memory was shaped and transmitted. Later tradition links Abu Sayyid with Avicenna, a towering philosopher-physician of the era. Whether or not a meeting occurred, the pairing became symbolic. Intellect standing before realized inward knowledge. It is a story about two languages, proof and presence, testing each other's limits. Accounts also connect him with Abul Hasan Haragani, a major mystic figure revered for spiritual authority. Their relationship, as remembered, highlights the etiquette of awe. Sometimes the deepest learning is silent attention. This lineage echoes devotion to earlier ecstatic saints like Abu Saʿid Bastami and the charged legacy of Hallaj. Sufi communal life gathered around institutions later called khanagahs, places where discipline and companionship supported transformation. Abu Saʿid is not always framed as the inventor of the khanagah, but as a figure who gave such spaces new vitality. In memory, his khanagah becomes a theater of ethics. Humility practiced in public, sincerity tested in daily life. Abu Saʿid died in 1049, but his influence continued through stories. Poetry-infused teaching and the model of the charismatic Sufi gathering. His legacy lives in the Khorasani temperament. Simple speech, intense inwardness, and compassion without theatricality. He remains less a topic than a tone, one that Persian Sufism never lost. Thank you for listening. If you'd like to explore Iranian history, literature, and culture more deeply, we invite you to join Kimia Academy. Our goal is to make learning accessible, meaningful, and connected to the richness of Persian heritage. If you have any questions about this video or how to continue learning, we'd be happy to help. Thank you again.